I'll indicate for defense counsel I've been trying to get that transcript or the recording. I don't know if it exists. Obviously, I'd like to hear it or see it. So your testimony sitting here today is that you recall specifically that Judge Felice admonished her about recording in and around the building.
Yes.
Okay. Even though your report says that he only admonished her about recording in the building.
Yes.
You told Judge Felice about the suspiciousness of the pictures and on the video camera, right?
Yes.
Why did you tell him that?
Because of, there was pictures of railroad yards, secure areas. There was pictures of buildings, secure entrances. There was pictures of police stations. So those were all suspicious.
Buildings, railroad yards, secure entrances, and police stations are suspicious.
Exactly.
Berquist had various pictures of entrances to different buildings and refused to give her name or tell the police what she was doing. Although her actions were not illegal, it isn't surprising that they were considered odd enough to look into.
When what?
In all the training that we received after 9/11, those were the things we were told to look out for.
Gotcha. And that creates reasonable suspicion of a crime?
Suspicious activity, yes.
Did you hear my question? You like to say the word suspicious activity. I'm focusing on words that are actually included in the law, in our Constitution.
Okay.
So let's talk about this term reasonable suspicion. Have you ever heard that term before?
Yes.
Do you know if that term has any relation to the Fourth Amendment?
Yes.
Does the term suspicious activity have any relation at all to the Fourth Amendment?
I don't know.
Okay, then let's talk about reasonable suspicion for a minute, okay? Did you have any reasonable suspicion that Ms. Berquist was engaging in any sort of criminal offense?
No.
Can I ask you what was suspicious about Ms. Berquist taking pictures outside of the courthouse? What about her was suspicious?
Well, we didn't know why she was there.
Okay.
And we didn't know if, like then, if it had any involvement with a current case that was going on, with a domestic situation that was going on, with security procedures, any of those. We didn't know what she was doing there.
All right, so I'm not asking you what you knew and didn't know. I'm asking you what was suspicious about it.
Because we didn't know what she was doing there.
So what was suspicious about it? Because you didn't know. Who cares what you know? What was suspicious?
Well, the fact that she was trying to videotape the building, we didn't know what she was videotaping, and the fact that she refused to identify herself.
Okay, so if I understand what you're saying that unless you know why somebody's videotaping the court, it is automatically suspicious.
Yes.
Okay, so anybody recording the building, unless you know why, is acting suspiciously, right?
Yes.
And you could detain them, right?
Well, we could stop and ask them what they're doing.
And then if they refuse to provide ID, then you can detain them.
Yes.
Okay. And after this lawsuit was filed, have there been any internal discussions, other than with legal counsel, about that policy?
Just the policy they put out in June.
Exhibit 2.
Yes.
The informational bulletin. Oh, I'm sorry, no, you're talking
Policy.
about Policy 172, the one that you believe allows you to detain people based
Correct.
on the subjective belief that they're acting suspiciously, right?
Correct.
Did you ever tell her that she was going to go to jail for 90 days?
I believe we informed her that the judge could hold her in contempt for up to 90 days.
But you never told her, matter-of-factly, that she's going to go to jail for 90 days if she doesn't give you her ID?
I don't recall that, no.
Well, did you or did you not? Or do you not know?
I do not recall that.
Is that something that you would do and say?
No.
Okay. So is it fair to sit here today and tell us that you did not tell her that?
I say I didn't recall.
I know, but what I'm asking you is, I asked you, is that something you would say? And you said no. Isn't that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's not something you would say, then is it fair to say that you didn't say it?
I don't recall.
So it's possible that you did tell her that she would go to jail for 90 days, matter-of-factly.
I don't recall.
Did you ever tell her that she has choices And those choices are to either show you an ID or to go to the judge who will hold her in contempt. And then he can hold her for as long as he wants. Did you ever say that to her?
I don't recall.
Is that something you would say?
It's a possibility, yes.
Is that something that's true or is that something that's false?
Could the judge hold her in contempt for an
As long as he
indeterminate
wants.
an indeterminate amount of time, as far as I know?
Really? A judge can hold somebody for as long as he wants?
Under contempt,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
After you went into your office and Larson stayed by the counter with Miss Berquist, right?
Yes.
And then after some time you came back out and you said to Larson that the judge is going to hold Miss Berquist in contempt and put her in jail for 90 days. Do you remember saying that?
No, I don't recall that.
Milazzo is very careful to say he doesn't recall exactly what he said. Not only is he trying to avoid being held accountable, but if he is caught lying, he could be charged with perjury.
Is that something you would do or say?
No.
Okay. Then, right after you said that, you turned to Ms. Berquist and said, "Is that okay with you?" Do you remember that?
No.
Guess what her response was to you? Do you know?
I don't recall.
Her answer was she's going to remain silent. Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
When's the last time you watched Larson's body cam footage?
I don't recall.
Within the past month?
I don't think so.
Okay. In December of 2018?
Again, I don't recall.
Could it have been before it got cold?
I don't recall.
You then told her after she told you she was going to remain silent, you said to her, "You realize you're going to Cook County Jail for 90 days. Do you remember saying that to her?
I don't recall.
Is that something you would say to her?
I don't recall.
Then, you told her she has an option. Do you remember saying that?
No.
Do you remember what the option was?
I do not recall.
Do you have any idea what that option could have been?
I do not recall.
What option could you have given her that would have made sense? Do you know?
I do not know.
All right. You told her that all she needs to do is show you an ID so that you can do your report, and then you'd let her go on her way. Remember saying that to her?
At some point during this, yes.
Okay. So you did say that to her at some point.
At some point.
Okay. She was detained, and all she had to do was show you an ID, and you would have let her go on her way, right?
Yes.
Would you have let her keep her camera and her footage?
Yes.
But wasn't it suspicious and had to be taken in front of a judge?
But we would have had a documented record of it.
But she would have still had the pictures, right?
Yes.
You then told her that she was obstructing and she's in contempt. Do you remember saying that, matter-of-factly?
No.
No? You don't remember telling her right now you're just obstructing and you're in contempt?
I don't recall that.
Is that something you would say?
No.
Can you think of a reason why you would say that?
No.
You don't get to hold people in contempt, do you?
No.
And she wasn't obstructing anything, was she?
No.
Okay. In fact, she asked you, what am I obstructing? Do you remember that?
No.
And your answer was that you're obstructing us from doing our job. Do you remember that answer?
No.
Okay. Is there any truth to that type of answer?
Yes.
Okay. So she was obstructing you.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe 30 seconds ago I asked you and you said she was not obstructing.
Okay.
Which one is it? Was she obstructing or not?
She was preventing us from doing our report, yes.
Was she obstructing or not?
Yes.
Okay. She told you repeatedly she does not consent to searches, right?
Yes.
Okay. The only basis you had, we already talked about this, but I just want to make sure the record's clear. The only basis you had to search her purse was the detainment, right?
Yes.
And if the detainment was not lawful, then the search was not lawful, right?
That's legally, yes.
Thank you. After you dumped out her purse on the counter, you looked through her wallet, right?
Yes.
And you found an ID.
Yes.
And what did the ID say? What state was she from? Do you remember?
Minnesota?
You're right. You said that on video, that she's from Minnesota. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. And so you knew who she was at that point, right?
Yes.
Why couldn't you let her go then?
Because at that point, the chief judge had already told me to bring her in front of Judge Felice.
Well, then why didn't you just look through her purse and find her ID before calling the chief judge?
If she would have cooperated, that's exactly what we would have done.
I don't understand. You told her repeatedly that she could simply give you her ID and she would be on her way, right?
Earlier in the incident, yes.
Okay, so what was the need to bring her to the judge?
Once I contacted the presiding judge's office, I was told.
The lawyer continues to press Milazzo over each weak point in his story, and Milazzo cannot give satisfactory answers to explain his actions.
To bring her in front of Judge
Why
Felice.
did you contact the presiding judge's office?
For guidance on how to handle the situation.
You knew exactly how to handle the situation. You're allowed to detain people and search them and look through their purses if they're acting suspicious, right? Wasn't that your testimony?
Yes.
So you knew exactly how to handle this. Search her, look through her purse, get her ID. Now you can do your report, let her be on her way. Why didn't you do that?
Because I had already contacted the presiding judge's office for advice, and that's what I was told.
Why did you contact the presiding judge? Why didn't you just look through her purse, get her ID, write it down, take a picture of it, photocopy it, and let her be on her way?
Because as far as I know, she was violating a judicial order which came from the presiding judge.
So you had to bring her to the judge because of what she was doing outside, right?
I was told to bring her in front of the judge, yes.
Did you hear what I said? You had to bring her in front of the judge because of what she was doing outside, right?
I was told to bring her in front of the judge because of what she was doing outside.
You were told that after you called the presiding judge.
Yes.
Do you see how there's something in between that? She's doing something outside, you take her to the presiding judge. In between that, you called the presiding judge, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you call the presiding judge?
I needed some type of more or less for advice on how to handle it.
Yeah, but before you called the presiding judge, all you needed was her ID, right?
Correct.
And then you were going to let her go, weren't you?
Correct.
So if all you needed was her ID and then you could let her go, why call the presiding judge? Why not just look through her purse, get her ID, and then let her be on her way?
Because I had already contacted the presiding judge.
Why did you call the presiding judge?
To get advice on how to handle the situation.
We're going in circles here,
Exactly.
and I'm not understanding what your testimony is. You were willing to let her go if you only had her ID, right?
Yes.
Without bringing her in front of the judge, right?
Correct.
Even though she was videoing outside, right?
Correct.
Okay. Why did you call the presiding judge?
Again, I had already called the presiding judge for information on how to handle it, and I was informed to bring her in front of Judge Felice.
Were you lying to her when you told her that all she has to do is give you your ID and you'll let her be on her way? Was that a lie?
That was earlier in the situation, yes.
Was it really? Was it really? Was it really?
Yeah.
Are you sure that you didn't say that to her after contacting the presiding judge?
I don't recall.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. When Larson was with Ms. Berquist by the counter and you went into your office for, 5-10 minutes, that's when you called the presiding judge, right?
Yes.
Then when you came back out, that's after you had already talked to the presiding judge, right? Or the judge's clerk, right?
Yes.
And that's when the judge's clerk or assistant told you to bring Ms. Berquist in front of Judge Peter Felice, right?
No, I don't think they did it right away. I think they called me back.
Gotcha.